Good afternoon, beautiful souls. We're going to go straight into the reading for the collective because we don't have that much time. Today is Thursday, May 15th. It is a 6th day, right? Because it's the 15th and 1 plus 5 equals 6. And 6 is the number of the lovers. 6 is also the number of Libra, right? Bringing balance into the relationships, bringing balance into your love life, right? This is why the love messages keep coming out. We just posted one before going live. Hopefully, the moderators are on deck to keep this a safe and sacred space. If you're watching this on the YouTube replay, well, hello there. Be sure to comment and subscribe because we relaunched the YouTube, and this is actually the new YouTube page that this is being featured on. That being said, let's just get straight into the reading. We won't have time to do any personal readings on the live, but if you would like a reading, that information's in the bio. So the energy of the day has been pointing towards May 22nd. Those eclipses that we had in March, and those of you facing love situations, right? Or situations in your life that were out of balance, that's the chapter you're leaving behind. That chaos, that madness, being with somebody that doesn't fulfill you, being lied to, right? Situationships, those are the things that you were being called to leave behind so that your blessings, the serendipity, right, can finally find you. May 22nd is a high energetic day. We won't call it a twin flame portal day, but because of the numerology, with the 5 being the number of change and 22nd, the 22 being the number of partnership, it is a great day to call in balance, to bring in those long awaited changes to your partnerships, not just your love partnerships, but any partnership that you have in your life. Before we get started, thank you so much for spending this part of your day with Spirit, the Soul Tribe, and me. That being said, Holy Spirit, what message do you have for the collective on this Thursday? And on Thursdays, we do our money workings, right? I've left you guys some Psalms, right? As well as a quick ritual you could do on Thursday mornings at dawn. Ooh, right? To help you call in abundance. Let's see what the divine goddesses have to say. As we are moving from the full moon that we had on Monday, right, to the next new moon, which we're going to have in Gemini on the 26th, this is a good time. This little less than a 2-week period is a good time to release the people, places, and things that do not serve your highest good. Goddesses, what message do you have for the collective? We're going to turn her over because she's not quite TikTok safe. Her melons are out. Ooh, we're going to leave those two just like that. And then we're going to get some clarification. Holy Spirit, what else does the collective need to know? That fell up there, so we're just going to put it to the side. Leave it right there. Anything else? How you guys doing on this Thursday? And lastly, we're going to get a What's the Vibe card for the collective. What's the vibe on this Thursday? Lastly, what does the collective need to know? Anything else? Ooh. These wanted to come out. So we're going to start with that salty because there's a lot of action going on this quadrant. But before we get to the salty, the overall energy is love affair, dirty little secrets. We'll just say fix because y'all can see what that says, right? And down low. Before we went live, there was this energy of do not settle, right? People getting antsy during their season of singleness and trying to take the next best thing. Don't do it to yourself, or else you're going to end up with a mistake that you can't fix. A living, breathing mistake, right? 18 years type of mistake, right? If you catch my drift, you're going to end up with something that you're going to have to carry with you forever. This is not going to be a quick, oh, we've known each other for so long and I might as well. Don't do it to yourself. Do not do it to yourself. Whenever you're in the moment between leaving one part of your life behind and starting another part of your life, closing one chapter and beginning another, everything is going to come against you to keep you in that lower vibration, right? And when the devil can't send you anyone because you mastered all of those lessons, right? They'll get you where you are the weakest. And for some of you, that season of singleness has been it's been a little long, and it's for a reason. You got to remember who you are. You're a chosen one. You can't just be with anybody. You can choose to be with anybody, but at this point, you're realizing that if you entertain just any old body, just to have a body in that bed, 9 out of 10 times is either not worth it, it causes more headache than satisfaction, and it's just a waste of your time. Don't do it to yourself, right? Because now you're in a situation where you're angry, you're bitter, your peace is disturbed, and you could have avoided all of that just by saying no and sticking to the vision, right? Because if you're in any season, right, you have a vision because your guides, the Holy Spirit, your angels, your ancestors, they kind of give you a rough idea of how the season's going to go. Let it. For those of you who are higher echelon spiritual folks, high priest, high priestesses, whether you realize it or not, those of you who have a higher calling in the world, you've been told time and time and time and time again, you can't just be with anybody. And the person that you're supposed to be with during the season of singleness, and why Spirit has you to the side and hidden, even though people still are looking and knocking, right? It's because your person is doing the work. They're growing into becoming the person that they are supposed to be. They're becoming better at trusting their intuition. And when you become better at trusting your intuition, you have a tighter connection to source. You have a tighter connection to God. This is why they want you to wait. You are not being punished. You are not being, well, some of you are being tested and tried, right? But that's that lower vibrational self trying to trick you out of your destiny. This cosmic power, right, with Mara Lisa, right, balances that divine masculine and the divine feminine, right? The sun and the moon, right? And there goes that too, that number of partnership, that number of balance. It came out crossing. It is coming with this by the book, right? Tune into that vision. Do what you know you're supposed to be doing. You might want to party and play, and that's cool. We are human, right? We have our needs. Spirit gets that, but just know if you take that route and stray from the vision you've been given for your life, be prepared to deal with the repercussions that come from it, right? As the wounded healer, we're not going to turn her over. Well, actually, let's just turn her over really quick, right? She's in the reverse, but she came out crossing, right? A lot of you are on a healing journey with that 15th, which so happens to be today's date, right? In some shape, form, or fashion, you are healing, right? Either it's childhood trauma, trauma you picked up from these silly relationships that you decided to get into that you knew weren't any good for you, but they had a nice car or they looked really, really good in a skirt, right? And it turned out to be, even if it turned out to be the worst decision of your life, it was part of the journey. And that's further clarified. We're back at serendipity. Those blessings coming in. That season of singleness changing to the next stage of your journey. Any bitterness, any anger, any negative feelings that you're harboring for whomever, right? That you've had a love affair with or that you've had a friendship with and things fell apart and you're still holding on to something about them. Let it go. Use these next few days, next week and a half or so, before the new moon in Gemini, right? To release those negative feelings, because that's also a part of preparing yourself to come into union with the person that is your divine counterpart, your true twin flame, not this foo fluffy stuff that they have you guys thinking about, right? Your kingdom spouse, your purpose partner. Next we have occupation. Ooh, Aizan, which speaks of miracles, right? She is the loi, she's a primordial loi, and the loi of the marketplace was Tule. That message is for Tule. It reaffirms what was said in the DM, okay? Okay, right? Higher power. Submitting to a higher power, right? Submitting to your journey, submitting to your purpose, submitting to what you've been called to do, right? Even if you're uno nuno and by yourself, you're not by yourself. You've got great, 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 great spiritual work to be done. And there's no amount of gold or power on the earth that can compare to the job that you have in spirit that God has chosen you for. Another reason why you can't just be with anybody. If Jesus had the wrong type of disciples around him, would he truly be able to accomplish what he was sent to do? Would they be able to accomplish what they were sent to do? We don't meet people by accident. Please always remember that. And those people who are a part of your purpose, who are part of your destiny plan, and the one who is chosen as your purpose partner, no, it's not going to be easy. Right? We can list all the reasons, and we'll be on here until tomorrow listing all the reasons on why these relationships have the most challenging time coming together. The whole dark world conspires against true twin flames, true divine partners, true purpose partners, 313 on the clock, from coming together. And some of y'all let it. Because you can't get past the vices. You can't get past your ego. You can't get past your false sense of justice. You can't really submit and surrender to the voice of the Most High, but yet you sit and surrender to those who say that they have a connection to Source, that they have a connection to the ancestors. Be careful with that. Another reason to trust your intuition. You will be sent many guides as well as many tricksters, because again, going back to moving from one chapter to the next, there's always going to be something or someone that tries to prevent that from happening. Each and every one of you that steps into their purpose, steps into their light, right, really has that connection with Source, inspires millions. You help that one person. You have that good word for that one person. You stand in your Hebrews 13:2 moment, and you are that angel that gives that message to that one person who brings it home and brings it to everybody in their home. So those 5 people are now inspired by that one message you gave that one person. And those 5 people go on to inspire 5 other people each. So already we're at 25, right? The number increases exponentially until you hit the millions. This is why it's so important for you to walk in your purpose, because you never know when that day is going to come, when you're going to get that tap on your shoulder to give that word to that person. And that word literally changes the world in one way or another. We had these 2 that wanted to come out. This in reverse, which is hopelessness, right? Intention, stressed out, migraines, worry, loss, despairs. We're not going to say that word, right? Because it's not quite TikTok safe. Let it go. The moments come up, the things that agitate you, the things that frustrate you, the things that knock you off your journey, right? You're over here doing your sewing and you run out of thread, or the sewing machine overheats, or you have them on the pedal and you're going at it and then you misstep on the pedal and snag your toe. Yeah, those things are going to happen, and it's perfectly normal to be frustrated and stressed out in the moment. Process your feelings and let it go, because again and again and again and again, you have a deeper purpose than a lot of you even realize, right? Imprisonment is crossing. Speak up, which came out in reverse, and come to the edge, right? Who's still scared at this moment? Fear is a natural feeling, right? We're meant to go past that fear. Whenever we're called to do something, you get a little scared, you get a little fear, you get a little, oh my, that's your nervous system letting you know that you're about to do something that's not only courageous, but it's something that you've never done before, and it has the possibility to change your life forever. Let it. Now is the time to let go, right? Release when we talk about the people, places, and things, we're going back to the things being your negative emotions, that negative self-talk. We haven't tapped on that in a while. No more talking down to yourself, please and thank you. Lastly, we have family room and not for you. Right? Family room is giving the conversations that the ancestors, your spirit guides, your angel guides have been trying to have with you. They've been showing you the signs, the synchronicities. The songs have been popping up on the radio. The posts have been popping up on your social media. You have a clear picture of what's not for you. At this stage of the game, you know exactly what you need, who you need to let go of. Be like Nike and just do it. Release whatever you need to release, because this next chapter, with the next version of yourself that's being birthed, that is in their season of becoming, requires you to be free of anything from your past that was a hindrance to your greatness, that was a hindrance to you having that communication with Source, that attachment to Source. A lot of you, not even a lot of you, this is maybe a handful of you, right? Recently, whether you petitioned the ancestors or you received some type of guidance from somebody, right, on how to petition the ancestors. And if you did this, you would get that. And your guides want you to know that you did it wrong. Your petition, and this feels like it's coming from the Orishas, lacked reverence. You did it from a place of ego, and the person assisting you did it from a place of ego rather than a place of spirit. And if you keep making spiritual decisions from a place of ego, you will continuously go backwards, and go backwards. You're literally putting money out there. I don't know who this is for, but you've been spending money to get work done. You've gone to the river, you've gone to the ocean, you've been taking these baths, you've been doing all the things, but it's not coming from your heart, so they're not received. Your guides and your ancestors are literally looking at you like, what are you doing? Spiritual people who are still tied to egoistic ways will have egoistic results. And 9 out of 10 times, because you are foregoing the work, right? You're not really leaning into spirit. You're just saying that you are, right? You're just putting on the colors. You're just putting on the elite gaze, right? And walking the walk, pretending like you're talking the talk. And that's good on the outside, because on the outside, us outsiders don't know no better, right? But spirit knows, and spirit's calling you out for moving fraudulently. It's not your fault. It feels like this is a lineage thing. Like you come from a line of people that have always managed to fumble their own blessings because they move with spirit from ego rather than from their heart, rather than from their spirit. They know, and they move accordingly. And a lot of times when you do that work, whether you're working with the angels or the Orishas or the Loa, and you say you're doing it in this name and you don't really know what you're doing, or you work with people that say they know what they're doing and they don't know what they're doing, you attract other entities that will pretend to get the work done for you, but you've just caused yourself a lot of unnecessary static and headaches and trouble that will follow your bloodline for many, many years to come. Being the generational curse breaker doesn't always mean with finances and love and being the first one to go to college. That's great. That's great. We love that. We stand for that. Sometimes being that generational curse breaker is being the first person that really knows how to pray, how to walk with the angels, how to walk with the ancestors. 3:22 on the clock. That is your message. Let's see what you guys are chit-chatting about in the comments before we wrap this up. I really wish, because we got a lot of visitors with us right now, that we had more time, but we don't. We don't. But I can make time to speak to you guys individually. And tomorrow is Friday, Venus's day, so we're going to try to hold space to have more time to be together and be kind to one another. Because we've got to be kind to one another. Hey, Loca! Boogie, woogie, woogie. How are you? Georgia girl. How are you? How are you? How are you? How are you? Terry. Well, enjoy your stay. I'm very glad that you could make it. Blaze, how are you? 10 out of 10 times you just BSing. If people only knew, if you ever get like a candle or an oil from, your babalao or, a priestess, and they're like, oh, I blew tobacco smoke on it. For why? Right? Because as a chosen one, yeah, it's nice to have things blessed in your name. People can bless you, right? Especially the righteous. But some people will say that they come in the name of blessings, and they're really coming in the name of taking and manipulations. The amount of spiritual manipulation that takes place, not just in the ATRs, right? Because I could point out instances in the church, right? Is at an all-time high. Yet another reason, right, to really tap in, tune into your intuition and have that direct connection to source. Hey, Newhart, heart out thou. Loca, we're about to FedEx, Amazon, next day, the sign straight to his front door, right? Put it all in his ooh. Ooh. They've been showing him the signs, and he's just got his hands right over his eyes like this. Like, I don't see it. I don't feel it, right? Try to ignore it, but you can only ignore these things for so long. But for so long. Boogie, woogie, woogie, letting my life change for the better. I love it. I love it. Peanut butter jam. Boogie, woogie, woogie, letting my life change for the better. I love it. I love it. Peanut butter jam. Thank you for the follow. You said snag your toe, and I just did it. Oh, no. Look, I know. Figure it fit. Auntie randomly sent me a message that said, God said, listen with your ears and hear with your heart. Auntie's a wise woman. We like Auntie. We like Auntie. Kim Divine. Hello, hello, hello. Hi, Daisy. Hi, Margie. Ooh, I won't settle for less. These men try to, won't they do it? And that's another reason how you know you're a chosen one, right? Because people will try to humble, well, they will try to humble you. Because who do you think you are? A chosen one. Ramona, if you would like a reading, that information's in the bio. Hey, Miss Nicole, how are you? And your birthday was March 22nd. Let's see, it's March, April, May, June, July. Things just start switching around for you. Dorsey, remember our good friend from Numbers and You? 90 days before your birthday, 90 days after your birthday happens to be the most transformative times. That's the time of year where you really have to dig in your heels and hold on to your hat. Hey, Vanessa, how are you? Froggy Mama, that's just such a cool name. All right, before we wrap this up, I love it that you're getting new stuff for you got new stuff for your new place, right? Because we like new things. I want to know how you snagged your toe on. First of all, where'd the brick come from? Where it come from, right? Thank you for the roses. All right, we've got 2 minutes. Any questions, comments, thoughts, feelings that you'd like to share with the collective before we wrap things up? And again, you guys know where to find me. Hey, Dominique. And this will be going up at some point, either today or tomorrow, on the new YouTube channel. The brick is on my patio. It was part of the wall. That's really special. That is, oh. When's the last time you cleansed out there with the ammonia? You know what, Boogie? Let's talk about that. I was looking for a number, right? And I don't make many phone calls on this phone at all, right? And then I clicked and I was like, who am I calling? And I was like, I'm FaceTiming Boogie off of a 22. It brings us back to 22 because I believe that call was originally placed in 2022, right? Of all the dates and times, of all the people too, right? So I was like, oops. Fun times, fun times. Spirit has jokes. This full moon is beating the brakes off of me. Join the line, join the club. We gotta have a moment. I think we're gonna have a moment tomorrow. We're gonna make time to talk about all of our war stories and this Scorpio, because Scorpio doesn't play. Eighth house action, right? As I look up and see 8,000 likes, eighth house action does not play. That death and rebirth cycle is a lot, right? I wish I had more words for it right now, but it's just a lot. I started my period on the phone, same. We're going to exchange war stories. And do not think I've forgotten about the OGs having OG time. There's been a lot going on in the collective. A lot of people still, because we started picking up on this energy at the beginning of April, are having a very, very difficult time. As you can see, right? Because some people have actually come forth with their testimonies and stories of the hardships they're facing right now. But we will make time before May is done, before May is over, for the OGs to have a get together. Until we meet again, until we meet again, do something amazing for yourself, right? Especially if you've been going through it with this Scorpio full moon we just had, right? Do something amazing for yourself, to love on yourself, to pamper yourself, to show you just how much you love you. Until we meet again, stay blessed.